Welcome everyone to the eMedica AKT Pass Guarantee orientation for the 150-day program for the October 2025 exam. So let me explain the format and then I'll introduce myself, the team, find out a little bit more about where you guys are from, and then we'll get into it. So, the purpose of this is before the program actually starts, it's a chance for you to meet the team, understand how does the Pass Guarantee program work. How do you go about completing your daily tasks? How do you submit your weekly tasks? And an opportunity for you to ask any questions that you've got about the program before we get underway. So use the chat as you've been doing to get involved in the discussion, to pass any comments. If you've got a question that you'd like myself or the faculty to answer, please use the Q&A for that. And that's because the chat disappears as other people say things. But in the Q&A, it will stay there until the faculty have dealt with it or I've dealt with it. Okay. So before we get into it, a reminder of this, which for those of you that have already received your welcome pack, there's a little postcard with this on one side, right? That the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It's famously attributed to Lao Tzu, a Chinese philosopher. And, for a lot of people, the AKT can seem like a 1,000-mile journey because it's so large. People are often overwhelmed by the curriculum. They're not sure how to get started, or they worry about how will I cover it all, while I'm also working and I've got life responsibilities outside of that. And I want to say thank you very much for trusting our team to help you along this journey, that you've taken a big first step by joining a structured program like this. Okay. Now, it's important to understand that the journey of 1,000 miles, while it begins with a single step, it's still 1,000 miles. So, we're going to be with you every step. And one of the things is we've structured and organized the learning. So all you need to do is do the work. You don't need to worry about how will I cover this? When will I cover this? You will cover all the key topics that you need. You will develop the exam technique that you need to pass this exam, as long as you follow the program. So, thank you for putting your trust in us. But it's also important that you understand that it's really, really hard work because it's a really challenging exam. All right. So, but because we've broken it down, just you're here at this step. When you get the first email, just worry about what's in that email, that work. Okay. One step at a time. Without even realizing it, 5 months from now, you're going to be prepared for the exam because you will have done all the work. Okay. So let's get into it. Let me introduce myself for those that haven't met me before. My name is Muhibur Rahman. I'm a portfolio GP and the medical director of eMedica. I did my own GP training in Neath Port Talbot in South Wales and passed MRCGP with merit back in 2007. I was awarded FRCGP in 2019 for my work in medical education and humanitarian medicine. I'm one of the authors for the prescribing safety assessment. I've written various books, study guides, articles about MRCGP preparation. Used to be an examiner and invigilator for the GMC, and I continue to be on the examiner panel for Liverpool Medical School OSCEs. And I sit on the NICE GP reference panel, which gives feedback on new guidelines that will affect GP before it gets published. Other members of the team that you're going to be engaging with throughout, Masuda Rahman is our director of e-learning. She will be as part of the faculty for a lot of the live courses, has also helped to design some of the learning tasks that you're going to do. And then Anna Greathead is a core part of the eMedica e-learning team. She's, again, be faculty for a lot of the live courses and webinars. She's also the main admin for the WhatsApp group. So each cohort, so your specific cohort for the October exam, there'll be a dedicated WhatsApp group. You'll get the link to join that the day before the program starts. You'll be able to register and get to meet some of the other people in the group. And Anna will sort of facilitate that group and be admin. Okay. So let me just hand you over to Anna.
Hi. Not sure if you can see me or hear me.
Yeah, we can see Anna.
Excellent. Okay. Well, it's always exciting to be at the beginning of a new cohort because I feel like I, make contact with lots of really great people, and we sort of come surprisingly close. We really do feel like we get to know you very well as we see your work coming in, and we hear, we see you interacting in webinars and courses and things. And I've been doing this program now for it must be a couple, 20 or so AKT exams. So I've seen a lot come and go, and I just want to offer you a few pieces of advice at the beginning of the program. The first one is commit to the program. As Dr. Rahman said, it is hard work. We're breaking it down for you, but there's no escaping the fact that it is difficult. It's hard work and it requires a lot of commitment. So at this point, decide, okay, even if I'm tired after work, I will sit down and I will do those questions. And even if I'd really like to just scroll my phone during my break when someone hasn't attended or something like that, I will review the case cards. And, even at weekends where it's sunny and I want to go outside and enjoy the sunshine, I'm going to do that reading before I do that. It's a difficult program to pick up again if you fall behind. So commit to it. What you get out of it will be directly correlated to what you put into it. And the second thing is be organized. Make a commitment to manage your own work stream. So you're keeping track of the things that you've done and the things that you need to do. You're keeping track of where important documents are, where emails are, so that you don't waste any of your precious study time looking for something or trying to find something that you got some vague notion you saw a little while ago. Be organized, make good notes, file things efficiently in your drive or on your laptop so that you can always find the things that you need. And finally, and most importantly, trust the process. This is a difficult program because you're studying for a difficult exam, and at the beginning in particular, you'll be getting scores that you're not accustomed to getting. There will not be scores that you enjoy getting because you are learning, and no one expects you to know everything right from the start. But if you bit by bit incrementally improve every single day, by the time we get to 5 months, you will be ready to take the exam. So don't be disheartened. Take every bad score as an opportunity to learn something, to learn some content, to hone that exam technique, and it will all be wonderful when you get that pass in a few months' time. Really looking forward to working with you, and I'll hand you back to Dr. Rahman right now.
Thanks very much, Anna. So, other members of the team that you will maybe get emails from that will do other things that happen in the background that are an important part of the program. For example, dealing with your email queries, dealing with your telephone queries, making sure that the recordings are processed and uploaded to your resources page, as Anna mentioned. Okay. So Selina Begum is our general manager, Tuba Jamil, Jubeda Khatun, Rabia Hussein, Laura Smith, Rebecca Begum. So you might get emails or be in contact with different members of the team. To make something like this work, we need a whole team to work together. So let me explain how the program works. You're on the 150-day program, so the last 5 months basically. So every morning, about 5 a.m. is when the email comes. Now the first 4 months will be every other day. And then the last month, it will go to every single day that you're going to get an email. And within that email, there'll be links to a question of the day and some associated reading. I'll show you exactly how to go through that in a minute. There'll be a set of online revision questions. On weekends, it'll be more than one set. There'll be some daily reading tasks. So those daily tasks, you've got to get completed within 48 hours, i.e. before you get the next email for the first 4 months, and then the last month within 24 hours before the next email hits. So there's two ways that you can approach that. One is, some people that will join the 5-month program, they join it because they know they've got a lot of other responsibilities. And so, one way you can do it is that you might actually say, look, I know I'm really on call today and I've got other things after work, so I might not be able to do it today, but I'm going to get it done tomorrow. You've got 2 days, that first 4 months. The other way is that you might do half of it the first day and half of it the second day. You can spread it. Or you might try to get most of it done the first day. And then if you've got time the second day, you might finish off, and then you might have some time then to read over some of your notes, revise some of the material that you've just covered the day before. But one way or another, the daily tasks must be completed before you get the next email, because we've designed the program and structured it such that we will cover all of the key topics and boost your exam technique progressively as we go through various live sessions that we've got. If you don't do the work and fall behind, you're going to find it really, really difficult to catch up. So it's really important to commit and to be consistent in doing the work from the very, very beginning. And alongside the daily tasks, there are weekly tasks. Now, the weekly tasks are different each week so that we expose you to lots of different types of learning and lots of different types of exercise. So sometimes we'll get you to watch a workshop that we've recorded and then answer some questions to make sure you've learned what you've seen. Sometimes there might be some research exercises that will help you to do a deep dive into an important guideline so you really understand the finer details of it. Sometimes it might be doing questions from a different resource, the MRCGP self-test. So you get exposed to some additional questions. Sometimes there might be knowledge challenges, reading some things and then doing some additional questions. Okay, so it's important that because it's such a large program and there's so much work, that you enjoy the little wins. You want to track your progress within your welcome pack. There's a progress tracker. Throughout the whole program, you're going to receive 90 emails from me. All right. The first 4 months, one every other day. And then the last 30 days, every day. When you've finished all of the work in email one, put this somewhere on a notice board where you can see it, tick it. It's actually really satisfying to tick, okay, I've done my daily tasks now, okay, from email one. And at the beginning, it's all empty, right? As you get here, you think, you know what, I'm making progress now. And you'll see by the time you get here that you start feeling like there's lots of topics I've now covered. When you get here, you're like, okay, I'm halfway now. And you'll see that there's lots and lots that you've covered. When you get to the bottom of here, you know you're in that last stretch. By this stage, from 61 onwards, we're on every day you're going to get emails. You're in that home stretch. And this last bit is really intense. We've got one full mock exam every weekend, the last 4 weeks before the exam. And we'll continue to build your knowledge, build your technique. But when you get here and you look back and the whole thing is ticked, there's a huge sense of satisfaction. Similarly, in your welcome pack, there's a printed curriculum checklist, 36 pages, where we've taken from the curriculum 600 or so of the most important topics that you need to cover to be well prepared. When you've covered a topic, tick it. So at the beginning, this whole thing has got no ticks. By the time you get halfway, you'll see that lots of the clinical things are ticked, a lot of the stats are ticked, a lot of the admin are ticked. But the evening before the exam, you look back, this has got 90 ticks. Every one of these 600 or so topics, they've got a tick next to it. It's going to just make you feel confident. I know I've done the work. I know I'm prepared. And you can go into the exam positive. Okay. Now, Anna mentioned the resources page. This is really, really important. At the bottom of every single email that you will receive from me, there is this big green box just above the eMedica logo that says resources page. This is where you'll be able to access all of the recordings. You don't need to ever contact us to access a recording, okay? We will automatically process them. So for example, this recording will be processed by, middle of next week. And by the time you get your first email, which will come to you the day before we start, it'll already be there. But, when we've got like the live sessions throughout, within a few days of the shorter ones, it will just appear on your resources page when you click on it. The full day courses, it might take 4 or 5 days to process because there's 7-8 hours worth of videos that the team have to edit and process, okay? But this is a really, really important link to click because that's where you're going to find not just the video recordings, but also the teaching slides. So you can revise the material from all of the different live sessions. They will appear there. And there's also other useful things like there's a copy of that progress tracker. There's a copy of your timetable. So you know where the dates are for everything, for all the live sessions. It's all available via the resources page. So it's this green button at the bottom of every email that you get, okay? You'll automatically get updated after each live session, okay? So, you've got all these different resources. The orientation recording will be here, i.e. the session that we're running now. After we have the first high yield webinar, first live session, you see you'll be able to click this to get the recording. You'll be able to click where it says download the topic review to download the teaching slides. After the second one, within a few days, this will appear. Towards the end, you'll have loads of videos because there'll be webinar 1, 2, 3, 4. There'll be stats, there'll be admin, there'll be the full day AKT course, there'll be the AKT 200, there'll be the high yield clinical grammar 1 and 2. All of those videos will automatically appear on your resources page. Okay. Now, let's go through how you actually complete your work for the daily tasks. Those are automatically submitted when you complete them. And how you submit the weekly tasks. You need to submit those using a specific link. So let me show you how that works. And then we'll wrap up and then we'll take any questions. Okay. So the day before we're starting on the 31st of May. So on the 30th of May, you'll get this welcome email, which will have a link to the recording of this session and a link for you to join the WhatsApp group. Also a link to the resources page, all right? After that, what will happen is the next day, you'll get the first email 1, okay? And then the way that you do those, if you scroll down, again, there'll be another link to the orientation video. That will only be there on this one. After that, it won't be there. Another chance to join the WhatsApp group. Again, it won't be there after email 1, but there'll be a link to a question of the day. When it's a weekend, you get 2. Because we're starting on a weekend, you'll get 2. So you click that, put in your email address that you registered with. Please use the same email throughout. I'm going to put the eMedica email. This is also the main email. If you've got any queries, you can use this, okay? So you put your email in so that we can track your work, because one of the things that we're going to do is We will monitor all of your submissions, all of your work, and towards the last part of the program, you will each get a different targeted revision plan, because we will look at which areas do you need more work in, which areas are you stronger in, which areas did you do less well in, and you will each get a different revision plan to make sure that we target your weaker areas and give you additional work, additional questions, so that you master it. Okay. To do that, we need to have one email that we can track for each person. Okay, so you've got a question of the day, select what you think is the answer, click next, it will submit it to us, read the explanation, then click to read the relevant guideline. Okay, if we go back to the email, so that's that. You're going to do the same for the second question of the day. So on weekends, you get 2 of these. On a weekday, there'll only be 1. Don't worry, I'll show you a weekday one in a minute. Then there'll be, again, on weekends, 2 sets of online revision questions. All right, so when you click this, you'll have to log in. So I'm going to log in to mine. Okay, so when you start the quiz, again, you put your name in. I'm just going to put the email again. This is so we can, again, attach your results to your profile so we can track which areas you need help with. So, again, when you answer a question, read through the explanation, okay? And we've got different types of questions. Even if you get it correct, read through the explanation, okay? When you get to the 20th question, there's 20 in each set. After you answer question 20, it will automatically send us your result. And because you've put your name and email in, we'll then be able to allocate that to your profile, and we'll know, okay, this is how you've done in this subject. And we'll track that throughout so we can build a picture of what you need more help with. So there's 2 sets because it's a weekend. Then it will tell you what to read from the case cards. You'll have the physical printed case cards. But let's say that you wanted to do that, you're on the ward, you've got lunch break, but you didn't bring your physical case cards with you. Well, you'll be able to click the digital case cards. I'm already logged in now, but once you log in, it will load up and can see we're doing number 1 and number 2. Okay, so number 1 and number 2. Second full screen. There we are. So number 1, number 2. You're going to cover those for that day. Okay. Once you've done that, you've got your reading as part of your daily task. Okay. So you see, remember the first 4 months, you've got 48 hours. So if you can't do all of this in one day, it's fine. You might do some of it on the first day and do some of it on the second day. Okay, so when you click that, it'll take you to the relevant reading, and we use different sources that are up to date. So in this case, this happens to be from the NICE BNF, and we're looking at depression, and we're looking at specifically the treatment summary for depression. Okay, and that links to then different classes of antidepressant drugs. So that's your daily task. You must get those done before you get the next email, which will be in 48 hours for the first 4 months, which will be in 24 hours for the last month. Okay. Alongside that, you've got a weekly task. This is going to be different every week. And you have a set deadline for those. There's a date. So like the first weekly task, you've got until the 8th of June. It's just over a week because we're starting on the 31st of May. Okay. So, when you click it, it will explain what you need to do. So you download this, it'll explain it. Once you've done it though, to submit that, you click this link. You'll again put in your details. So you'll put in your name, your email that you're using, and then it will ask you to upload the task. Okay. And then just a reminder that you've got the details of the next live session. So the next live session, High Revision Webinar 1, is the 10th of June, 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. So you have that in your diary. It's already in your calendar. And then, you've got your resources page if you want to look at those resources. And once we've had the live sessions, the recordings will appear. So when you click the submit weekly task, once it loads, this is what it looks like. So you put your name, you put your email, and you've done your work. You would then upload the file where you've done your work. Okay. And then that will be sent to us. And again, we will look at that. All right. So that's a weekend one. All right. So we're starting on the weekend. So that's an email one. Let me show you what a weekday one looks like, because the second one will be on a weekday. So again, you scroll down, you see we now haven't got links to the WhatsApp group or the orientation recording. That's only on the first one. So you've got one question of the day. So you'll answer that. You'll read the explanation. You'll click next to read the relevant guideline. You've got one set of online revision questions. You'll put your name, you work through. Once you get to question 20, it will submit it. You'll do your case cards, so number 3 and number 4. Again, you'll have your physical ones, or you can read it on the online ones. You'll have reading. Now, sometimes there's more reading, sometimes there's less. Okay. And then can see this is still the first weekly task. It's not a different one. It's just a reminder, because remember, you don't have to do that on that same day. You've got a whole week. You can spread that out. You just need to get it done by the 8th of June. Okay, the actual deadline's there, and you're going to submit that by there. So that's how the emails work. Okay. Just a reminder that please don't unsubscribe. So there's 2 ways you can unsubscribe. You can click this link here, or there's the one-click unsubscribe at the bottom like this. If you click either of these, you will stop getting emails from us. We won't know that you've unsubscribed. Okay. And we won't be able to add you back in unless you request us to do so. But if you keep doing this, your email provider might put a block that will prevent you receiving any further emails from us, even if you add you back to a list, because this is part of what's called reputation management for email senders. We have a really good reputation, because one of the things is you should make it easy if someone genuinely doesn't want to receive email from you, for them to unsubscribe. That's why we have a one-click unsubscribe option. Because you'll see some providers, even when you click unsubscribe, they ask you to put the email in again, and then they ask you, are you sure? Do you want to stay on? They try and make it difficult. That affects your reputation. If you have a good reputation, your emails get delivered into the main inbox. If your reputation is negative, you might find that more emails go to spam. And so, we don't want that. We make it easy for people. But if you do click this, you will not get emails from us anymore. And we'll only be able to add you back if you ask us. But you do it too much, even if we add you back, you won't receive emails from us. Your provider will block it. So please don't unsubscribe. All right. So we've gone through the daily tasks and the weekly tasks. If you've got any questions, please ask them in the Q&A. What I'm going to do is, for those that haven't got questions, I want to do the summary so that, we can finish by 12:30, and then Anna will have already cleared some of the questions, and then I'll clear any that haven't been cleared by the end. But really, I want to give you 3 really important keys to success in the AKT and as part of this program. Number 1 is mindset matters. Michael Corder said, to succeed, we must first believe that we can. Some of you, it might be your first time sitting the AKT, and you wanted to have a structured guided program. That's why you've joined a program like this. Something where, you can just do the work. You don't need to worry about planning and making a revision plan. We've already done all of that. You just want to focus on the work. Others might have joined this program because maybe you've already tried sitting it once, twice, more than that, doing other things, or on your own, or using different resources, and you haven't passed, and so you wanted something, again, more guided, more structured. If you've got a past experience with AKT that's negative, it's really important that from the beginning, from today, you have in your mind that I'm going to pass this exam. I can pass, I will pass, I'm going to do the work, I will be prepared, therefore I will pass. Because if you have in your mind right at the beginning that this is an impossible exam, I can't pass, I'm never going to clear this exam, what that does is it actually stops you learning. Because the minute you get a question wrong, that negative thought gets reinforced in your mind. I knew it, this is too hard for me. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you actually won't be that motivated. You won't take it in. Your brain actually shuts out the learning. So whatever you experience, whether it's your first attempt or it's your last attempt or something in between, from today, I want you to have in your mind that I'm going to commit, I'm going to do all of the work, and because I'm going to do the work, I will be prepared, and therefore I will pass this exam. You have to have that belief right from now. The next is to be consistent. You must do your daily tasks. Now, will that be hard on some days if you've got on course? Yes, it will be. But the good thing is you've joined the 5-month program, the 150-day program. So if you can't do it on the first day, it's okay. You might be able to do some of it and then leave the rest for the second day. But one way or another, you've got to do the work before the next email hits. You've got to be consistent. It's not the same doing work regularly and building on that learning and doing it throughout. That's very different to, this is a really busy week, I've got nights, so I won't do anything in the week, but on the weekend, I'll do 12 hours, 6 hours Saturday, 6 hours, and I'll take it all in. It just doesn't work that way. You won't take it in, okay? So you've got to be consistent with your daily tasks. Your weekly tasks, don't feel, look, I've done all the daily tasks on the first day, I've also got a weekly task, and then you'll be overwhelmed. You don't want to burn out, okay? You've got a date for the weekly task. Don't feel that you have to do it all in one go. For some of them, you can spread it out. Don't feel that you have to do it on the first day, but equally, don't leave it till the very last day, every single time. Number three, focus on the learning, not your scores. All right. We deliberately have lots of hard questions in our program, both at our courses, and our question bank is known for being at the challenging end of the different question banks. That's on purpose. It's based on science. There's something called negative recall bias. You remember better those things that you associate with a mistake or a failure than those things that you associate with a success. This is why when people come out of an exam, they remember those one or two questions that they really found difficult. They forget the 100 plus that they answered really easily, and their mind fixates on those. All right. So by doing hard questions, and then if you get it wrong, reading through the explanation, understanding why did I get it wrong, you're going to remember that better. It goes into your long-term memory. You don't remember so well the ones that you answered and got right straight away. So don't worry about your scores. Most of you will get most of the questions of the day wrong for a big chunk of the program. You might not see scores that you want to see right up until you get just before the exam. That's okay. The purpose of the questions is learning, all right? And so that's really the last thing, is to have a growth mindset, not a fixed or sometimes called a negative mindset. So a growth mindset, when you get a question wrong, you will see that I'm glad that we're covering this topic because it's an opportunity for me to learn it. Clearly, I don't know this topic because I got the question wrong. So it's good that we've covered it. Now I can master it. Whereas someone that has a fixed or negative mindset, when they get a question wrong, they spiral. This is too hard for me. I knew I would never be able to master this. I'm not going to pass this exam. And that means that actually you won't be able to take it in and learn it. So it's really important that you have the right mindset from the beginning, that you're consistent in your work and you focus on the work, the learning, not your scores. If you do the work, you will pass. We guarantee it, because we've designed the program that by the end, you will have done 4,500 questions. You'll have had over 225 hours of learning. We'll have covered all the key topics, and we will have taught you the exam technique that you need throughout all of the live sessions, worked on your time management because we've got multiple full marks. So if you do the work, we guarantee you'll pass because we know the science of it is there. You will have covered everything you need to cover. You will have learned it, but you've got to commit to it. And these three things are going to help you to succeed. Okay. So that's how the program works, what you need to do. And just a reminder, because we're now the October 2025, this time last year, there will be people who are maybe at a similar period in their training as you are. I just want to share one of the results that we had from the program this time last year. Okay. So, they sat the exam in October, passed. They found it really helpful, covered all the main topics. The webinars helped to consolidate their knowledge. The WhatsApp group was a support. It's good to have someone available to answer questions. They would recommend it. And they've gone on now to do SCA with us and so on. But one of the things for them, two young kids, less than full time, they needed the extra time. They found this helpful. They then went on to find the SCA program helpful. But just to highlight that it works. All right. Another one from the cohort this time last year, passed again. This person, this was actually, notice they say finally passed. This person had sat it more than once before, okay? And, had really struggled. Sometimes some people will actually go from failing by a few percent to it getting worse sometimes. Sometimes they get the same exact mark or only progress 1 or 2%. But, they're finally passed now and they've got CCT and can move on, right? Right, so someone's asked a good question. Has the course been updated to reflect the changes to the AKT? Yes. So for the October program, all of the full marks will be 160 questions, not 200 questions, because that's the format from the October exam onwards. Okay. Let me do the last thing, and then we're going to clear up any questions. And really, it's just to say, once again, thank you for trusting our team. Welcome to the program. I'm really looking forward to working with you over the next 5 months towards your AKT success. That you've taken that first step, just now one step at a time. We'll be with you all the way. If you prepare, you will succeed. So thank you so much. Looking forward to working with you. Welcome to the program.